No, except for one other thing. You got the wrong man. I'm the sniper. And I'm not a poor shot like you think. I'm not trying to kill anyone. You must understand that. I'm punishing them.
Look, my friend, I don't like sick jokes.
No, this is not a joke. If you don't believe me, go look on the beach. Then you'll see.
He's a crank, right?
I don't know, Tom. Why do you want to give up your baby?
Because I don't have a husband. Because I have to work. And I don't think it's fair to leave my son with all kinds of people. Only having a few hours in the evening to spend with him.
You talked about these problems before Paul was born. I gather that you figured you could handle them. Why have you changed your mind?
At that time, I thought Charlie was my biggest problem. And I felt that getting away from him would make it easier to cope with the baby. Are you going to help me find someone to adopt him?
You're not the first unwed mother in history, Sheila.
Please. I have to do it.
Why do you feel you have to? Sheila, when you made the decision to stop therapy, there were a lot of questions that hadn't been discussed.
Well, I don't feel like discussing them now.
I think you need counseling. Would you like me to arrange it?
No.
Are you going home from here? I'll give you a lift.
Thanks. Oh, you've never seen Paul. I'd like you to.
Sure. Where's the baby now?
Some people called Bartlett. They live in the building. I hardly know them. Did I tell you I'm getting a raise?
Congratulations.
It's not much, just a few dollars. But it helps.
Same office you worked before?
Mm-hmm. I'm getting to like it better all the time. It used to be just another job until...
Until what?
Are you sure you don't want some coffee?
No, thanks.
Fine. Come on. You guessed, haven't you?
Tell me about it.
He came to work about a month ago. His name is Peter. I've never met anyone like him. I mean, there's never been anybody like him.
And it makes a difference to Pete that you have a baby.
I haven't told him. I start going out with somebody. And maybe he likes me, and maybe I like him. And I want to keep going out with him. Because it gets lonely not going out. And then sooner or later I have to tell them about the baby. Because it wouldn't be honest. And as soon as I tell them, it really didn't matter till now. What if Peter runs away like the other ones?
What makes you think he will?
I don't know.
Well, if he's special, Sheila.
He is. And I can't take the chance.
She's lost a lot of blood. Prolonged exposure has put her into a state of shock.
How do you like that? She comes all the way down here to paint a pretty picture, and she gets shot in the arm.
Well, as he said, he was aiming to wound, not kill. Punish, I believe is the word he used.
Find the slug?
Nah, too much sand.
She see anybody?
Well, she had a little run-in with a guy on a motorbike. We're looking for him.
How's the old fellow?
He didn't have his hearing aid on. He didn't know she was here until we found her unconscious. Hey, Matt? This doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does, you know.
What am I thinking, Tom?
That the guy who called is really the sniper.
Well, he seems to have enough evidence to support his claim.
Nah, there are all kinds of kooks in the world. The guy who called you might have been a rider.
Rider?
Yeah, somebody who borrows another criminal's credentials. You know, it happens a lot in kidnappings. Some nut reads about a case, calls the victim, tries to collect the money for himself.
And you think whoever phoned was riding on the sniper's publicity?
Well, look, the guy we have in custody has signed a full confession. He's given us names, dates, places.
Well, he could have gotten that from the newspapers.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he'd call again, Tom.
Yeah, well, why do you think he's going to call again?
I don't know, but if he does, I'd like to talk to him.
It's been 7 hours.
Charlie can take all the time he wants. All we can do is wait.
Wait.
You realize the position I'm in, Matt. I've assured the citizens of this town that we have the sniper in custody.
You may have.
But if I don't, then what do I do? Go back on the radio and tell them that maybe we've got him, maybe we haven't? Hello. Yes, put it through. Hello?
Chief Wilson?
Speaking.
This is Charlie. Do you remember me?
Yes, Charlie, I remember you.
Good. Now, was I lying? About the old lady on the beach, I mean.
No, Charlie, you weren't lying about that.
Well, do you believe me now? I mean, do you believe I'm the sniper?
I don't know what to believe, Charlie.
Well, what do I have to do to convince you?
Charlie, maybe we could use a third party, sort of an arbitrator. Maybe he could help us. That is, if you wouldn't mind. I mean, he's right here now. His name is Matt Lincoln. Would you like to talk to him?
Well, all right.
Hello, Charlie. This is Matt Lincoln.
Hello. Are you a cop?
No, Charlie, I'm a psychiatrist. Sometimes I work with the police.
Then you're a cop.
No way.
Well, if you're not a cop, why do you hang around the police station?
Oh, I hang around other places too, Charlie. Did you ever hear of the hotline?
I think so.
Well, I work there.
I see. You mean you take calls?
Sometimes. Other people work there too, Charlie.
Well, why do you do it?
Well, it's pretty simple. Sometimes someone will call that's got a problem. Something that's on their mind that's bugging them. Well, we listen to them. They talk. We try to help out.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea too, Charlie. Charlie, what's on your mind?
Well...
Charlie? Charlie? He hung up.
You got a trace on that? Yeah, okay. I'll be here. Wasn't on the line long enough.
Well, maybe next time. If there is a next time.
Dr. Garfield. Dr. Garfield.
Hello, Dr. Lincoln. Dr. Lincoln, this is Peter Harkness.
Hello, Dr. Lincoln.
Pete?
Peter gave me a lift over here, and I've been wanting you to meet him.
I was a little worried about meeting you, Doctor.
Why, Pete?
Well, the only doctor I've ever known well was the one who took care of me when I was a kid. And every time I'd see him, he'd make me put out my tongue. And when Sheila told me what your specialty is, well, wow.
He's not going to analyze you, Peter.
Pete, excuse me, we have to cut this off now. Sheila, I can see you now for a minute.
See you later.
Now, what was that all about?
I'm sorry, but I didn't see any harm in it.
That doesn't answer the question. Now, we made a bargain and you broke it. You tried to manipulate Pete and me. You tried to set me up for something we talked about. And I specifically said I wasn't going to do.
Well, what can I say except I apologize and mean it?
You can tell me why you did it.
I don't know. Yes, I do. I hoped that if you were there, I might be able to get up enough nerve to tell Pete about the baby. And the minute I saw you, I realized what a ridiculous thought that was.
Now, what are you going to do now, Sheila?
What I have to do? What I should have done weeks ago.
Well, I wouldn't try it by assaulting their defenses directly. You just don't tell a neurotic to stop being neurotic. Doesn't help. Any other problems I can help you with?
You seem to be having one of your own these days, my man.
Just one? What one do you have in mind?
That girl, Sheila.
Well, there's an example of a problem that wasn't handled correctly the first time around. Now, when she got pregnant, we tried to get her to look at the alternatives an unwed girl has. And she grabbed at a fast solution and decided to keep the baby and raise it herself, without really appreciating what the difficulties involved would be.
Well, I think she showed a lot of courage in making that decision to keep the child, instead of rushing into something else.
Well, that may look courageous, Tag. But it isn't really in terms of the best interests of everybody involved. She didn't handle her feelings about getting pregnant in the first place. So the child is a constant reminder of that. Now it interferes with her relationships with men, which were never very good originally.
Aren't more and more girls deciding to go ahead and have babies without being married? Isn't the general attitude toward it changing?
Not much. A little among some celebrities or among the very rich. But when someone in the middle or lower economic group tries it, she gets a very hard time from people around her.
Isn't she better off without the baby?
Oh, I don't know, Kevin. What I do know is that this is a girl who didn't solve the basic part of her problem, her relationships with men. And because she didn't, she's now running into more and bigger problems.
And she wants to give up the child for the wrong reasons.
That's right. Now, if she gives up the baby, she's going to have bad feelings about doing it. She could do something self-destructive, something to punish herself.
She keeps running away from things. How do you handle somebody who keeps running away from things?
Well, that's one we failed on, Kevin. Didn't get handled right the first time.
I thought I was in love with Charlie in the beginning. Now, especially since I met you, I realized that I didn't even know what love was all about. Charlie kept wanting to get married. And I kept putting it off. One day I understood exactly what I was doing. I didn't want to marry him. It would have been dishonest. Terrible for both of us. But I put it off too long. I was pregnant, and I guess I was pretty desperate by the time I got to talk to Lincoln. And if he had helped